Good evening, fuckers. We are back with the next Train Simulator Classic request video. For this one, I'm actually joined by my special guest here. You might just about be able to see him. As you can see, he's riveted by the prospect of seeing this one. Now, by my standards, it's been quite a while since I did one of these. When I say quite a while, it's been like 2 days at most. But yeah, I really needed some recovery time after that last video. I am going to really fucking do something serious to that cunt out there. Every time I start one of these videos, that cunt chooses the exact same moment to start riding up and down here. As I was saying, yeah, I really needed some time to recover after that last video. By the end of it, I felt like I'd aged about 25 years. It's, oh dear. There was a comment that Northlander left on it about how it looked great in the autumn because it looked like all the colour had been drained out of everything because of the time of year. Yeah, all the colour drained out of it. I know how it feels. Anyway, enough of that. This is a request from LaserJetJordan, and I do really get the impression now that yeah, the old Pendolino is his favourite train. I don't know that for certain. Maybe if he's watching this he can let us know, but this is the second consecutive request of his that has asked for the Pendolino to be the train, so yep, no problem with that. Now the route, actually rather like the train, this is a route that has appeared fairly recently. Like within the last couple of weeks. The train has appeared within the last, I think, 5 days or so. And usually I prefer to have like a bit of variety, but this is a route I like doing, and especially in a high-speed train. So yeah, no problem. So it is West Coast Main Line South, and it is once again the full length of it. Birmingham New Street is where we are departing, and our destination is London Euston. Now I'm going to run this as an express service. I would say I'm going to run it like it's an express service from Glasgow to London. The only problem with that is that the express service from Glasgow, its first stop is Carlisle, its second stop is Stafford. You're already starting to get a clue as to why this one isn't quite right. Its third stop is Rugby. Fourth stop is Watford Junction, and it's only the fifth stop, but yeah, final stop at London Euston. So we're going to do something along these lines, but obviously we're not going along the Trent Valley. We are starting at Birmingham New Street, so yeah, we can't do the Trent Valley. So we are only going to have 2 stops along the way. So we will stop at Rugby. All trains on this line stop at Rugby, whether they are slow or express, and we will also stop at Watford Junction, as that is one of the stops for the express services. So it's only those 2 stops along the way. Third stop, London Euston. Right, so that's the route, and the train, well, I've already said, yeah, it is the class 390 Pendolino. We are going in the Avanti liveried version, and we're going for a properly big old train, 11 car set. Now there's 2 reasons why I'm going with the Avanti liveried version. Firstly, it's the only one that I haven't yet used in one of these videos. This is the 4th video to feature the 390. And 2, this is this livery comes with this route actually. It's not part of the Pendolino Loco DLC. As a result, it is a bit different, and I'm hoping better, because the last video I did in the GNER liveried Pendolino, I was not impressed, especially with the physics of it. So this must be an improvement, surely. We'll certainly find out anyway. So yeah, that is not quite the full setup. I've also decided to give myself a little bit of a challenge, so I've set it so that wheel slip is very, very likely. So it's autumn, which is the worst month to choose as far as wheel slip goes. Even winter is not as bad as autumn. And I've chosen rain. I didn't go completely mad and make it stormy, but yeah, we do have rain, so wheel slip is something I really do need to try and avoid. And it's 11 AM because, well, it gives us daylight, at least we can see where we're going. So that is the setup. That's everything all ready to go, so let's get this up and running. So here we are in an extremely dark and dull Birmingham New Street, which it always looks like this. Now, first thing I'm going to do, yeah, disable that fucking thing. Now, there's not a great deal I need to do as far as getting the train set up, but one thing I do certainly need to do is get this all set up. This sets off 3 tests. We've had the first, there's the second, and there's the third. Now, it's interesting actually that it sets up the tilt. I mean, it says here tilt not available, but I think that's if this thing is lit up. And temporary tilt is set to normal. I've not got it isolated. But I don't think the tilt mechanism is working on this particular version. We'll find out, but yeah, I really don't think it is. Now, I'm not going to have the instrument lights on as well, because I've got the cab lights on, because it is rather dull and murky out there. Cab lights and instrument lights, yeah, it's so bright you can't really see them too well. I mean, these ones are not bad, but yeah, the speedo is a bit hopeless. So here we are, yeah, in New Street. As always, it's looking very dull. Let's get the doors open, let everyone on. Doesn't look like anyone is actually getting on. Here we are at the other end. See here, at least we are in daylight. You can see, yeah, doors all open. Okay. So, let's get the windscreen wipers on, and let's get underway. We have a Class 350 coming in. So we have 10 mph limit as we are pulling out of New Street. So Euston is 113 miles away, as near as makes no difference. Our first stop is Rugby, so we've got quite a distance to cover before before our first stop, but at least we're going to be covering this distance at a fairly decent rate, and we're not going to be stuck at doing, like, you know, 45 or something. We're on this 1 in 66 climb as we exit New Street. A hefty climb at the best of times, but we're in a really heavy train here with 11 cars. I mean, granted they are all powered, but nevertheless it's a lot of weight to be moving, and of course the tracks are a bit slippery. Well, as we are now into a 30 zone. Now, because of the time of year and the weather, I can't just slam it straight into notch 4. Well, let's give it a try. No, that seems like I'm getting away with it. So it's now 1 in 44 uphill. Yeah, it's easing off, and as a result our acceleration is picking up. We're now in a 40 zone, and we are fast approaching a bit of a downhill section. When I say a bit, I mean it is quite steep, this downhill section. So going down at 1 in 112. Actually moving relatively slowly here, especially by my standards. Okay, so the slope is easing off as we are entering a 60 zone. Once we're in there, we can crank up the throttle to max. Especially as once we're in the 60 zone, we are practically entering a 100 zone. So here we go. So Avanti Park is the first of many stations that we are just going to be going straight through, as we are now in the 100 zone. So, yep, here she is. This is, well, that was Avanti Park. Do like the old Avanti livery. I actually think it looks better on the 805 and the 807 that I have, but certainly doesn't look bad on the 390. 390 is a bit of a weird one for me as far as its looks. It's not a bad looking thing, but that front, where it's very sort of curved, it does make it look a bit sort of bulbous. So yeah, it looks great at certain angles, and then other angles it looks pretty awful actually. A bit like the Enterprise D in Star Trek Next Generation. Actually, no, that's not fair. The Enterprise D in Star Trek Next Generation looked pretty shite no matter what angle you looked at it. So we are up to 100. But once we have come out of Stetchford Station, we are entering a 110 zone. Another 390 passing us by. So we're into the 110 zone. Let's Lee Hall is the next station. So here we are. Racing through there. It's not long before we reach Marston Green either. We are now at 110. Trouble is, once we pass Marston Green, we've got to be going down to 100. So let's slow ourselves down a little. Now, if we were going the other way, you know, we started at London, it's actually surprisingly quickly that we reach the first 125 mph zone. Coming this way, yeah, you got a little bit more of a wait before the first 125 zone comes along. So here is Marston Green. So we are in the 100 zone. Birmingham International is the next station. Now what I am effectively doing is the return trip of a video that was on the Jim Plays channel. It was done about 3 months ago. But yeah, he took this exact Avanti 390, it was an 11 car train, from Euston to New Street. So after a 3-month stay, it's now on its way back. So here we have Birmingham International. I'm sure it used to be called Birmingham Airport Parkway, but don't quote me on it. I think when I did the run in real life, I'm sure that's what it was called. Yeah, we just went straight through. We didn't stop there. I'm pretty sure we didn't stop there. It does amaze me how little of that journey I remember. I think I was just massively underwhelmed because I wasn't on a high-speed train. So Hampton in Arden is the next station, and I've not been paying attention. We're in a 110 zone now, so let's yeah, get our speed back up. Crawling along at a mere 99 mph here. That was Hampton in Arden. As stations go, that was not particularly memorable. There's a 350 absolutely rocketing past us. It's probably more likely we were rocketing past it. Still gaining speed even when we were only in notch 1. Quite impressed by that actually. Now we're on a 1 in 130 uphill gradient. I wonder if we would continue to gain the speed in just notch 1. No, it doesn't look like it. So the physics actually make sense in this version, unlike the GNER liveried version. So we have another speed reduction back down to 100 just as we approach Birkswell Station. Pretty sure we'll be okay as we approach it, especially if I take us into the off position on the throttle. Yeah, sometime today would be nice. We've still got to lose another 1 mph. With all those speeds coming down, I thought it would be coming down a bit quicker than this. There we go. Never in doubt. So, Birkswell Station. Yep, another really memorable one. No sign of any actual station buildings. So Tile Hill is our next station. Oh, yeah, they really do come along thick and fast, all these Birmingham sort of commuter stops. Entering a 110 zone. We are now in it. Let's accelerate properly. Here is Tile Hill. What the fuck was that? See if we can get any trackside views while we're still in the Birmingham area. We are approaching Canley Station at a rate of knots. We're not getting any trackside views, it's all overhead. We'll give it one more shot. No. We'll stick with the exterior view anyway since Canley is approaching. Jesus Christ, another speed reduction down to 100 and then down to 80, so this could be the approach to Coventry Station. And it is. So yeah, there is Canley. Once we are past Coventry, there we are, our first 125 zone. It does rather amaze me that there are, you know, trains running that just completely go through Coventry without stopping. Now, you'd have thought a major town, major station like this, you'd have thought this would have been a compulsory stop. But nope. So there we are, that was Coventry Station. Not sure where that route is heading to, but if anyone does know, feel free to let us know. Right, very nearly in the 125 zone. We are now. Let's get us up to a proper speed. No more of this pouncing about doing 110. Something else I do need to pay a bit more attention to next time we are going around any curves is to see if we are tilting, but I really don't think we are. Which is certainly accurate today. None of the trains that have the tilting mechanism have it enabled. Why, I don't know. I think it's an absolute waste. Tilting mechanism is there for a reason. It does a job and it does it well. While so many other countries are in the process of making sure that their rail services are able to move faster and faster, Britain is determined to slow theirs down. Yeah, we were able to go faster on the British Rail network in 1986 than we are now. And that was 40 years ago, for fuck's sake. There goes another 390. We are very nearly at our max permitted speed. This thing could easily go well beyond 125. There we go. But I mean, this thing could match the APT. This could do 155, I think, with very little effort. Same with the entire 800 series, whether we're talking the 800 right the way through to the brand new 810. They could all do 155, no problem. I think the 221 and 222s might be able to do it, but it would be a bit of a stretch for them, bearing in mind that they are two diesel locos. .220 Voyager might be able to do it, but I don't think anybody in their right mind would want to be on board when it attempts it. So have another stab at trying to get some trackside views as we pass another 390. Not seen any other 221s yet. We've got another speed reduction coming up, and it's quite a hefty one, down to 75, so we're braking relatively hard. This could be the approach to Rugby. We've got that very steep sort of uphill section as we approach it, and then the equally steep downhill section very soon after that. Yep, there we are. So it's our first stop. Don't need to worry too much about the double yellows. So 1 in 55 uphill climb here. No wonder our speed really nosedived. but it will certainly pick up in a bit as we come down the other side. So single yellow, again nothing to worry about. So 1 in 55 coming down here. We're still accelerating even with brakes 1 being used. I think it's going to be a bit tight, but we should be able to get all 11 cars on this platform. In fact, I don't think it's going to be tight at all. I think we're going to do it with consummate ease. Yeah, no problem at all. So here we are at Rugby. Don't really know a great deal about it. I know more about the sport than I do about the place. Because we have the Six Nations coming up in just about 3 weeks or so. When it comes to rugby, I am all about Wales. So yeah, I am, to put it mildly, not particularly optimistic about the Six Nations. I don't think we have a hope in hell. Frankly, if Wales win one game, we'll have done well. But the state of Welsh rugby at the moment means that even Italy are looking at Wales and saying, yeah, that's an easy one. At the rate Wales are going at the moment, even though Georgia are not in the Six Nations, even they would look at Wales and say, yeah, we can do that, no problem. Trying to predict who's going to win the Six Nations though, that's a bit trickier. As long as it's not England, I don't mind. I may be from England, but the England rugby union team is always full of some of the most unbearable shysters. I'd imagine it's going to be between France and Ireland again. You can't rule out Scotland from the Six Nations. Scotland have been getting better and better and better. I don't think they're going to win it, but they'll certainly finish in the top half of the table. Well, they should anyway. Anyway, that's enough rugby talk, I think. Especially as we have left rugby far behind us. So we are not stopping again until Watford Junction, so we have a fair old distance before our next stop. A lot of stations that we'll be going just straight through. I've just gone through a neutral section. Unfortunately, yeah, neutral section doesn't seem to make any difference to this loco, although yeah, that did go out when we went through it, so maybe it has been, but it just doesn't make any real sort of like difference. We got a 110 zone coming up as we approach this tunnel. Fair length tunnel, this one. No idea what it's called, but then once we're out of it, we are effectively entering a 125 zone again straight away. There is one thing that I did actually want to cover. I've just got a Steam achievement, and that is this is the 8th video that I've done that is London to Birmingham, or Birmingham to London, one way or the other. And of those 8, 7 of them have been on the West Coast main line. Obviously this one had to be, because we're on, we're using an electric, we're using NEMU. But yeah, I do have another line that does the London to Birmingham route. I've got the Chiltern line, and yet it seems as though everyone is oblivious to that fact. Everyone still always chooses the West Coast main line rather than the Chiltern line. The Chiltern line's a great one. Yes, it is slower, and yes, it is not electrified, but it's a decent route. But Chiltern line's only appeared in 2 of my videos, and both times it was me that chose it. So I don't know, maybe no one likes the Chiltern line apart from me. I'm assuming this is the M6 we are running alongside, but not for much longer. We're going around corners here. Well, from the outside it did look like we were tilting, but it sure as hell doesn't look like it from inside the cab. I'll have to have another look next time we are approaching any curves. Could really do with a tight curve or two, so I could really take a look. This one is nowhere near tight enough, so we need to shave off a couple of mph. Admittedly, we still got 1.25 miles to go before we need to. Oh well, I've done it anyway. see my guest is absolutely riveted by this run. Back in the 125 zone in just half a mile. Now that certainly feels like we are tilting. Yeah, we are. So, okay, we do have an active tilt, but I guess it's just not as, doesn't tilt as much as the APT does. I mean, a lot of people think that the APT didn't really tilt very much because it tilted by 10 degrees, but believe me, 10 degrees, yeah, that's a fair amount. I mean, in cricket, if a spin bowler was able to get 10-degree spin, there is no way in hell a batsman is hitting that delivery. I mean, Shane Warne's ball of the century, as we pass the 221 there, yeah, Shane Warne's ball of the century, that didn't spin as much as 10 degrees. So yeah, 10 degrees is a hefty amount. I think we're, yeah, the tilt on this thing is probably about 5 degrees. I don't think it's any more than that. I have to say the conditions are really not hampering us at all. Wheel slip is nowhere to be seen. still accelerating even in notch 1. I mean, it ain't bad going. And the DTG class 801 could also still do that. The Armstrong Powerhouse one couldn't. I think it was slightly more realistic, accelerating in notch 1 when you're going at this sort of speed is extremely unlikely, but I don't mind it. Do we have any passenger views? Yes, we do. Unfortunately, this is it. But at least we have a passenger view of some kind. We go through another neutral section. There we go. It went out very briefly. And it went out a long time after we went through it, and I was trying to figure out why, and then I remembered the pantograph is right at the other end. There's the pantograph of driver cab 2, not the one at this end. Properly racing along it. This is much more like it. None of this dawdling around at 45 miles an hour when we've got 100 plus miles to cover. Fucking hell. Wolverton station coming up, and that means that Milton Keynes is not far, not much farther up the line. And the rate that Milton Keynes is expanding, Wolverton is essentially now part of northwest Milton Keynes. Definitely see there that we were touring. Another 221 coming by. That one's just left Wolverton station. Yeah, there we go. So that was Wolverton, and we have Milton Keynes coming up pretty sharpish. There it is, a mile and a half. doesn't happen often when we are doing this run, but we will not be stopping there. We'll go straight through. So we have Milton Keynes, or Milton Keynes Central as it actually is, which does suggest that Milton Keynes has more than one station. I don't know if that is the case or not, but the station name does certainly suggest it. Bletchley, as in the park, coming up next. That was Bletchley. Trying to think what the next station will be. I think it might be Leighton Buzzard. Another 350. So we have a speed decrease as we approach this, it must be another station that's coming up. It doesn't look it. So here we are in the 110 zone. I can only assume it's because of this particular curve. Well, Leighton Buzzard Station is the next one, but yeah, we're able to increase to 125 Actually, we will probably have been right through Leighton Buzzard before we were able to engage that. Entering the 125 zone, and here is Leighton Buzzard Station. So you can now throttle up while we're still going through it. So yeah, there we are. Leighton Buzzard is done and dusted. The next one could be Hemel Hempstead. Actually, I'm sure there's at least another couple of stations before Hemel Hempstead, because that's pretty close to London. So it's Jennington next. Yep, Jennington Station, not a particularly remarkable place. Are we going to get any trackside views at any point on this run? Yes, there we go. And what a place to be laying down. We get two of them now. Is it going to be like buses? We're out all this time and then we get three come along at once? Yes, it is. And four. There we go. So we finally got some. Tring is next. Well and truly in the home counties now. So yeah, there we are, Tring. Quite a fair few platforms there. It does give the impression of it being a major station. I'm not entirely sure it is, but it sort of looks like one. Well, looks like my guest is waiting to leave. There you go. There you go. So the guest star is finished with this run. I guess it was too much excitement for him. Get ourselves down to 115 as we approach Berkhamsted. There we go. And then once we're the other side of Berkhamsted station, we can yeah, get back up to 125 again. There we go, Berkhamsted. Bit of a nothing place, I think. So back in the 125 zone. Hempstead is the next stop. We're almost at the outskirts of London here. Yep, there we go, Hempstead. It's supposed to be a nice place, but it does strike me as being a bit boring. Yet another 390 passes us by. There is Apsley. I can't say it's somewhere I'm at all familiar with. Now we're starting to get quite a few stations as we are entering the outskirts of London. So King's Langley is the first. have a speed decrease down to 110 in yeah, about 1.25 miles. We'll let it coast down there for a bit. Here is Kings Langley. Didn't look like there was a great deal there. Brake a little harder just to make sure we yeah, get there. Another 350. So we're in the 110 zone. And our next stop, penultimate stop, Watford Junction. Yeah, this one could be a bit tight as far as getting all 11 cars onto the platform. I think we are going to do it. Yeah, no problem. So here we are then at Watford Junction, our penultimate stop. Whole train able to get on there just fine. The old which one's that? 378. A bit of a brain fart there. It's only a 4-car 378 as well. Right. Away we go. We will soon be in another 125 mph zone. Obviously the last 125 zone that I think we're going to get on this journey. Euston is just over 17 miles away, so really have absolutely raced through this. no problem with wheel slip at all. So Bushy is the next station, but as with all stations until we reach Euston now, we will just be going straight through. So we'll be in the 125 zone now, just as we are approaching Bushy Station, which has another 350 waiting there. The big old one, 12 car 350 there. I have no idea how long this 125 zone is going to last, but it can't be that long, surely. So 221 passes by, along with the 378 that was at the station. No idea what station that is we've just gone past. So it's Harrow and Wealdstone coming up next. This place, Harrow, right, okay, it's got the public school, so, oh, big surprise, it has extremely plentiful transport connections. I mean, Harrow is not a big town, well, it's not even a town, it's a part of London pretty much now. It's got 5 railway stations, for crying out loud. I mean, how many railway stations does that place need? Here we are, Harrow and Wealdstone, one of the bloody multitude of stations that Harrow has. All the 378s in this run are all still 4 car. And they changed the 5 car quite a while ago. Mind you, this isn't exactly a recent DLC release. The Wembley Central coming up. don't think we'll be able to see Wembley Stadium because yeah, in this weather I don't think we'll be able to see that far. We'll take a look. It'll be over here somewhere. No, certainly can't see it. Yeah, quite a bit of FPS loss now that we are approaching London. Ah, we can just see the arch there. There you go. So Wembley Stadium can be seen. Right, we have a speed reduction down to 110 coming up. So this is our gradual slowing as we approach Euston. It's only 7 miles away now. So never mind the 85 mph limit here, it's the 80 that I'm more concerned with. So we'll get our speed down to 80. There we go. Then down to 55 in just under 1.5 miles. Can't imagine we'll be passing too many more 390s like that one. So into the 55 zone. Actually in the 50 zone when we get to the end of this tunnel, so continue braking. There we go, we're now fine. So we are approaching the entrance to Euston, which means we have this very sort of like steep downhill section that we have to traverse, while also slowing down to 40. We are 1 in 100 at the moment, but it's going to get a damn sight steeper. I think it ends up something like 1 in 40. Okay, 1 in 73. It's not as bad as I thought. Okay, now 1 in 70. Double yellows, that's fine. There we are in the 40 zone. Single yellow, that should be telling us that it's platform 3, and it is. We're going slow enough to not trigger TPWS. And because we're on platform 3, we've certainly got a long old platform. We'll have no problem getting all 11 cars on here. Now we could have been better, we could have had platform 1. Which is where the Caledonian Sleeper departs from. So that's big enough to have 17 cars on that. And we don't need the windscreen wipers on anymore. Final car almost on the platform. There it is. We don't need to go right up to the buffers. We'll get relatively close to them. Actually, we won't get anywhere near them. It's this will do. And there we are. Birmingham New Street to London Euston. Express service in the class 390 Pendolino. That was much more like it. You know, you're going to do over 100 miles in a trip. Yeah, do it at 125. None of this pouncing about doing 45 mph for 107 miles. Yeah, let's take a look at how we did. Um, 5 speeding errors. Well, by my standards, especially on a 112 mile run, that's not bad going. I mean, it's not brilliant. You really shouldn't be speeding 5 times. Yeah, not bad at all. So, yeah, that was a good run. That, yeah, really like that one. So, yeah, that brings this video to an end, and we will see you at the next one.